Eileo guys, and welcome back. I hope the beginner guide helped you in your MSO journey. So can you guess what's next? If you said mid-game guide, you are totally wrong. Just kidding. Let's get right into it. So, you've conquered Pecos Coast Extreme in Golems B10, right? You got your time as low as you can go? If your time isn't a minute and 15 seconds or less, then pause this video and take care of that issue as soon as possible. So now you know the basics of gems and also how to earn gold if you've seen my latest video, but now where does one go from here? After you have a stable Golems B10 team, it is time for you to use that gold and invest into other mons for other elements. I have Golem specific guides on my channel, so I won't spend too much time on this. Not to mention the advice and guides of others from Golems B7, B9, and B10 is readily available. As a mid-game player with a reliable gold source, you should be focusing on getting a stable team in both B7 and B9. Mons like Wood Shiva, Wood Mushi, Wood Miho, Wood Valk are all great for B7. You can even throw in Dark Mona in B7. Mons like Fire Wildfang, Fire Leo, Fire Succubus, Fire Kindling, and even Fire Vamp are great for B9. Once again, you can also use Dark Mona if you have one. Now, when it comes to doing these, you need to focus on one element at a time. Say for instance you want to run Golems B9. Aim to get your team to level 50 Evo 2 at minimum with as good of gems as possible. Healers can stay at level 50 for now, but all attackers for the rest of the game should be level 60. Your clear time here won't be amazing, but as your team gets more stable and stronger, your time should decrease as well. These dungeons are slower than B8, but by investing in them both, you will be gemmed up for Golems B10 and even be able to tackle the early dragon dungeons for siphon gems. Speaking of them, what are siphon gems? Siphon gems allow mons to do their 5-star skill, which is normally in AoE a lot faster than usual. We put siphon gems on wave clearers because AoE wave after wave is just a lot more efficient and reliable in clearing stages in quick speeds versus how you play it now. Mons like Fire Siegfried, Fire Draka, Dark Tina, Dark Mona, Light and Dark Sarah are all fantastic mons that can utilize this well. Even Water Mona for B8 is a perfect choice for a siphon set. Even one mon on siphon makes farming story stages to level other mons so much faster. But once again, you need the proper teams built for Golems B7, B8, and B9 so you can then apply them to the lower level dungeons of dragons and move your way up. Breaking into B10 is also what your aim should be, but that requires gems from, you guessed it, B7, B8, and B9. Unless every single mon that you have has triple squares. B10 is a bit overrated as the drops really aren't that incredible compared to the other golems, but I like it because it's a test. If you're able to clear B10 close to a minute and a half, then it shows you know what you're doing in this game. Now you can use a guide for it, which is fine, but this shows you have some knowledge with mons, their abilities, and their gems. As a mid-game player, this is also the time you start delving more into what part of the game you want to focus on as you play in the future. Have you tried joining a clan and doing titans? Your damage might be abysmal, but as you pull more mons, do research, and of course look up guides from other players like Nestia, you will get better over time. Didn't like titans? That's quite alright. Other players spend their time more in PvP. You can invest in mons you like and see how far they can take you. But just like titans, PvP costs gold and also knowledge. This time right now is about focusing on what you want to pursue. If you don't mind either, but you don't have a big desire in it, then you can play to collect just like me. There's no right or wrong as long as you are having fun. Mid-game progression is quite lengthy, so don't feel like you have to rush through stuff. You will notice I haven't mentioned the story at all. After you have raised different mons for the other golems and lower dragons, you should have a bigger range to choose from. Use the knowledge that you have gained and feel free to push towards the final continent. Once again, do normal, hard, and extreme. I highly recommend you doing this because of exotic events and access to good farmable mons like Fibian. Max all capture areas as well to make catching mons a lot easier. If you are in need of more astrogems, then check out my sliming guide. This is the #1 way to earn astrogems for pulls after you've filled your astro guide out some. To sum it up, your goal as a mid-game player should be clearing out Golems B7, B8, B9, and even B10 after a few months. Your times in B7, B9, and B10 should all be under 2 minutes and as close as 1.5 minutes as possible. As a reminder, quicker time means more gems and of course more gold. The story stages should be cleared at least until the last continent, which I find to be optional, but it's also there for completionists. While not mandatory, even a bad siphon set from the lower dragons is perfectly acceptable for farming this story. With this all said and done, you are now ready for endgame. What does endgame consist of? Find out in the next video.